Okay, got me another project. Plenty of projects to keep me busy. But I don't have much to go on here. Of course, I can't hardly read the screen. Not much of this is in English, I can figure out the 95C, that's, like under boiling, and I can figure out the 150 liters because it's like 26 inches across and 60 inches long, so it's like a 80-gallon hot water tank. But that's not exactly what it is. It's got a built-in circuit here for a dedicated line to hot water tank. Don't really know what that is. Maybe that's for a pop-off valve, a safety. And then all these crazy horns, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, are for 4 separate circuits. Then I guess, this one and this one, they're going to be supply and return to the hot water source. What that's for, I really don't know. I got to do some digging and search up the model and see if I can find anything. But my idea is to work in tandem with a outdoor wood burner, and then have that supplying the hot water to this, and then this supplies kind of like a junction, and it would supply hot water to the various places for the heat exchangers and whatnot. Whether I run, I'm contemplating, do I run actual potable water through this, or do I run a sealed system to another heat exchanger, and then that heat exchanger transfers the heat into it, and then all the fluid that is within this tank can have anti-rust in it, because this is all steel. There's no stainless, no aluminum. It's just steel, and you can, even though it's never been put in service, you can see the rust starting in there. Anyway, because I have it's never been put in service, Taylor outdoor wood burner. I think we bought it clear back in the mid-90s. So there's a whole lot of plumbing to make this happen. So whether it actually happens this winter or in the future, I don't know. The one thing that is already existing is the farmhouse already has an existing hydronic hot water system in the house. So that part of the equation is already in place. It's not, most people are accustomed to, hydronic in a house and it being like steam radiators. So this is not. This is a system that was an oil burner that heated water in a similar fashion to an outdoor wood burner, and it heated it to the 180 degrees, and then it circulated that up to 180 degree water throughout the farmhouse in baseboards. That's the way the 1950s farmhouse has always been heated when it was heated with oil. The only other way it's really been heated is with the fireplace or a wood stove. At one time, Grandpa did have it rigged up so that there was a water board in the back of the heatilator fireplace, and you could switch the plugs on the oil furnace. And instead of the burner firing to heat the water, it worked because when it was on oil mode, it would use the room temperature for whether the burner would kick on and off. And if you switch the plugs, it would work off from the water temperature. And when it got to water temperature, it would run the pump, because when you're heating it with the water board in the back of a fireplace, just because the room gets the temperature, you don't want the pump to shut off, because if the pump shuts off with that great big ball of gigantic fire in the fireplace, you could literally boil the water, and the system's not supposed to go over 180 degrees, so that would not be a good thing. So that's why Grandpa rigged that up, but that system's no longer functioning. So I have 2 baseboard circuits through the house, and in combination, with an outdoor wood burner that heats hot water. And then my idea is for this, and then this can be the junction to send the hot water to all the other various places besides the house that I would want hot water to go to. Don't necessarily have to use all 4 circuits, but they're there. I need to find out exactly what's inside this tank, because I didn't buy this from overseas. They said they might be able to get me some sales brochure to help me understand what's going on inside this thing, to understand how it's working, which would be awesome. My only other concern is I don't see a drain at the very bottom, so I'm seeing once I actually put water in this thing, the only way to get 100% of the water back out of it is to literally lay it on its side to let the water run out of the connection points. So that's, what I'm wondering is possibly is if this third point up here goes completely down to the bottom of the tank. I don't know. So I got to figure out whether I got a good idea, good deal, or whatnot. But anyway, this looks like a gigantic hot water tank with a ridiculous number of ports sticking off it. Kind of reminds me of the one side's perfectly clean, there's nothing on it. It's like a hemlock tree. Reminds me of hemlock limbs that are ridiculously hard, or spruce limbs. Hemlock, spruce limbs. Spruce, I guess, is worse, or at least I think it is. So, anyway, that's my little, I count 2 1-inch connections, 3 3/4-inch connections, 1 1/2-inch connection, and a total of 9 1.5-inch connections. So if I'm gonna get plugs to plug in this thing to keep, that's what all this stuff is to keep rodents. I'd rather take all that stuff out and just put caps in it to keep rodents out of it, would be my preference. So anyway, I thought this was interesting. Not really seeing anybody else with one of these on the internet, at least not in North America. So my understanding is all of these things come from Europe. So that explains the fact that it's in, 10 bar, 6 bar, 3 bar, and obviously the only part of it that's in English is that. And it still says, 6 bar and 3 bar and this whole thing here, I can't read any of that. Well, I mean, I know how to convert the Celsius and the liters and the 10 bar. But then you get down here and you got this other one that says 330 liters. And you got this one that says 110 Celsius. And then this 12, I don't. Slightly confusing to somebody that doesn't know how to speak that language. So, anyway. Yeah, if there's anybody out there that knows of a website that you can switch over to English and you can read those stickers, or a sales brochure or an owner's manual that's in English, that would be totally awesome if somebody was able to come up with that. So, until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.